Welcome back to the Post-Up Podcast. We're back again. I'm back with Owen, and the season is here. The season is finally here. Non-stop basketball until June. And to open the season, we're going to talk about our predictions for the upcoming season. I said season, I've got a lot of times in there. The season's here, Owen. How excited are you?
Well, it's been a long summer.
It's
been an exciting summer because there's so much change has happened in the NBA. And now we finally get to see that on the court. I feel like every basketball fan's been waiting, anticipating the start of the season just to see all these star players and their new teams. Won't have to wait no more longer.
Sadly, the opening game is Toronto against the Pelicans, and everybody's like, brilliant. You get to watch Zion and the champions. The champions have fallen apart, and Zion is no longer there. So, or is injured. So, good luck watching Josh Hart. I actually like Josh Hart, so no offense. We'll start by talking about our predictions for the standings. We'll start in the East since it's a bit less interesting.
Very weak.
Okay, yeah. Okay, not less interesting. It's just a lot weaker than the West. So, the 15th spot, the worst team in the East. The worst team in the East.
I think it's quite obvious right now. Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both agree there.
Not good team.
Yeah, not much excitement coming from them. You know, when you draft with a 5th pick and there's still no excitement, you know you're in a bad position.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. A new coach straight out of college is like, their main man, Love, hasn't completed a whole season since his rookie year.
Yeah.
There's not much to be excited about.
Love is obviously going to get injured at some point in the season, so they'll be going through stretches where Tristan Thompson is their best player. That's bad.
And that's probably the biggest yikes.
Yeah. And they could be trotting out there on the court with 2 6'2" guards, with Sexton and Darius Garland. Like,
oh God.
Do they think they can win? Surely not. Because they're not going to win.
No, yeah.
And they probably will finish with the worst record.
So, if you're a Cleveland fan,
close your eyes and don't watch
find
the
a new sport.
Just sim to the end of the season.
Sim to the end of the season. Watch the NFL. Cleveland got a good NFL team.
Well,
the Cleveland Browns.
They were meant to be one of the best, but they kind of flopped.
All right.
Just watch baseball.
Yeah,
oh wait, no, the season's over. Just enjoy your life.
Hibernate until the baseball's back. Have some fun. The 14th spot. Who have you got?
I got the Hornets.
Well, I've gone for the Knicks. Why have you gone for the Hornets?
Similar to the Cavs, they're just a better version of the Cavs, which is still not saying much. When your best player is Terry Rozier, again, it's a yikes. And when you look at how much money they paid him, it's a yikes. He probably will average like 18 points a game, but he probably will attempt about 25 shots a game.
Yeah.
So I just can't see them winning too many games.
Well, I'm in for the Knicks. And looking at it now, I feel like they might do a little better, but compared to the other teams around them, like the Hornets have Terry Rozier, Washington have Bradley Beal. I feel like the Knicks don't have that player. They have a bunch of decent young players like Knox, Mitchell, Robinson, Alonzo Trier. Obviously, the second pick. Is he second pick? Third pick. Not a genius. Third pick. RJ Barrett. There you go. I remembered his name.
Yeah. Well done.
RJ Barrett. Well, they might string some wins together, but then they might also not.
Yeah.
So I've got them in the 14th. The 13th spot.
I got the Wizards, but after seeing how they dismantled the Sixers, oh god.
Number one spot.
But then they just announced that Isaiah Thomas is going to be their starting point guard. So yeah, I'm confident with my choice now. With them in 13th, they got Bradley Beal, just signed a new contract. But apart from that, who's on their roster? Like, what are they offering? Nothing but losses. That's all they got on their plate.
Bradley Beal.
Yeah, but what else? Nothing.
Not just Bradley Beal.
That's all they need.
Yeah.
To lose.
Oh, they're not going to win many, but they might win more than the Cavs.
Yeah, maybe. Well, if they don't win more than the Cavs, then that's very concerning.
Yeah. Well, I've got the Hornets in 13th, purely because, like what I said, Terry Rozier, I think, can carry them not far. He won't carry them very far. He might average like 20 points a game, purely because you'll be shooting like 50 times a game. No one else is getting a chance there. So, yeah, I think they're slightly better than the Knicks, but like from the 14th to the 12th pick, it's very interchangeable.
Yeah.
All three of them are awful.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And
4.
Yeah, but the Cavs are really awful. I'm not
even
counting
worse.
the Cavs.
Yeah,
The Cavs
fair,
are not going to get above the 15th spot. But like 14, 13 and 12,
Yeah,
those can change a lot. And it doesn't really matter.
yeah,
With the lottery, it doesn't
That's
matter like with
yeah.
tanking anymore. So just those three teams, big bad. So 12th,
Yeah, I went for the Knicks. Same reason as you. They're just not good.
yeah.
RJ Barrett, he's done better in the preseason. But again, I'm not a big fan of him. And their team is a bunch of shooters. Well, not even shooters. Shot chuckers who aren't good at making shots.
Yeah.
So it's not a good recipe for success. And their coach, he's very emotional. He likes to argue with his players.
Poor
so
man.
yeah, you never know. Yeah, I can't see it going good.
And I went for Washington purely on the fact that Bradley Beal's better than Terry Rozier and anybody that plays for the Knicks.
Yeah,
That's the only
fair
reason.
enough, yeah.
I mean, you don't need any other reason.
Yeah.
So slightly more interesting when we get into teams that could maybe
I
push
think
for the playoffs.
from year on up, any of them can make the playoffs.
Yeah. So 11th seed, we've gone for the same team.
Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about this. I wanted to put them higher.
I didn't.
But when Zach LaVine is your best player, I mean, you're not gonna like make any noise in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they should challenge, because I think that's what they want. They want the chance for the playoffs. They made some decent moves, bringing in Thaddeus Young and Thomas Satoransky. So they might be able to push for the 8th seed.
Apparently, Satoransky will be their starting point guard for the season as
I
well.
like that, because he's a much better player than
He's
Chris
very good
Dunn.
on the ball. He gave a good amount of assists. Good passer. It's good for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got them in the 12th, 11th spot. Sorry, I don't see them getting any higher. They're not better than the teams above them, but they're a lot better than the teams below them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big fan of Kobe White. I feel like he could have a good season, similar to what like Trae Young and Doncic did.
You think he
Not
could be
that
good?
not that good, but have a good season without their team doing well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I expect Kobe White to make noise this year. Nowhere near Rookie of the Year level.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this kid. But their team is not going to, like you said, Zach LaVine, not a man to carry you into the playoffs.
Definitely not.
He'll put up 25 points once every 25 games. I think he only put up 2 like high scoring games last year. But and he never completes a season.
And he can't defend either.
And he can't defend.
Yeah.
But dunk contest, can't wait for it,
he's the
Zach.
winner there, yeah.
Zach, get involved. So, Chicago, all we got to look forward to is watch Kobe White and dunk contest if Zach LaVine goes into it.
That's it.
The 10th seed. Yours is controversial.
Well, I've gone for the Nets.
Of course you have.
Well, look at their team.
I'm looking at it.
It's not good. You got Kyrie, obviously. Casual fans think, oh, they got Kyrie, they're going to be good. Kyrie's a flashy player, but he has a negative impact on the team. Yeah, he might put up 20 points a game, but defensively, he's probably given up 35 points per game. And then when you look at the rest of the team from there, like Karis LeVert, Dinwiddie, they're all inefficient scorers. So when Kyrie has the ball, they're just going to be put in the corners, and then once every 20 possessions, they're like, oh, now you can shoot. And they're probably going to miss because they're going to be killed. And then you got DeAndre Jordan, like, oh my god, yikes. Wilson Chandler might be playing a lot of minutes. They just given Taurean Prince a big 2-year extension, $29 million over 2 years. Like, this team is so poorly constructed. I just can't see them getting in the playoffs.
Yeah, it seems to be like the Nets was kind of like, let's just make the Knicks as sad as possible.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have a plan. They were like, we'll take them so the Knicks don't have them. But yeah, the Nets, well, how I see the Nets, well, this is it. I have the Hawks in 10th. But how I see the Nets is Kyrie is at the Celtics, but the team is slightly better. Sorry, no, I'll take that back. It's like when it was at Boston, but the Nets team is slightly worse.
So I think it's significantly worse.
Yeah. Well, it's just worse.
Yeah.
So, like, where the Celtics still finished, like, a good spot last season, they won't have that good of a spot. But saying that, I don't have them in 10th.
But can I just say, all the players that Nets lost this season, if you go to the stats and look at plus minus, all of their players in the plus and the positive, they all just got rid of them, and they just kept all the statistically worst players. So you're adding Kyrie to that mix, and it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be. Well, I'm going to enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
But Brooklyn fans, even though there's not many of their fans, they're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I have the Hawks at the 10th spot. A good young team, not quite ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, sums them up pretty nicely.
Still a few pieces away from contending.
A few more draft picks and a few more pre-seasons away from getting into it. So the ninth spot.
Well, I've got the Hawks.
You've got the Hawks.
Yeah, I don't think they're quite there yet to make her into the playoffs. They could challenge, they could push for it, but yeah, they're still a bit too young, maybe too naive. They got a young coach. They just need to learn really. Maybe next off season, I think they're gonna have quite a lot of cap space. So what players are gonna want to play with Trae Young because he gets everyone involved. He's a good playmaker. So they could attract a good free agent that could put them over the edge.
Yeah, you just hope that Trae Young can get the percentages up. He didn't shoot very efficiently last season.
Yeah, and if he can become as good as Steph Curry defensively, he's still not good, but just don't be as bad as he was last year. I think that's all you can really ask from him.
Yeah, so I've got the Heat at the 9th spot. I feel like the team's good. It's not that good. It's good, but it's not quite playoff good. Butler's in, good player. I don't think he's quite ready to
He's not
carry.
good enough to lead a team.
Yeah, he's not like a leader.
He thinks he is. He's definitely not.
He definitely thinks he's a leader, but he isn't the leader to carry like young players like Hero into the playoffs.
But when you think of Jimmy Butler, the Heat are a perfect team for him.
You think of Bully?
And that. Huh. But the Heat are they're like a match made in heaven. If any team in the league is going to be willing to put up with his antics, it is going to be Miami.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It might work out.
You'd hope that D Wade would have spoke to him and just try and calm him down a bit and say,
"Stop bullying kids.
Stop bullying the kids. Don't do what Michael Jordan said, and let's be nice to the kids." Now it gets interesting because it's the playoff spots. It's actually the teams that are good enough to have an interesting season.
Yeah.
8th spot in the East.
Both the same. Detroit. When you think of the 8th seed, you just think of Detroit, isn't it?
It's got Detroit written all over it. Their big men are one of the best in the NBA. I mean, Drummond and
in terms
Griffin
of talent,
yeah.
They got Dwayne Casey as a coach. He did amazing things with Toronto. It's just a good team, isn't it? Well, I wouldn't say good, but they're not bad.
No.
They're pretty average.
If D Rose comes in and does anything like the old D Rose, it'll just be a plus for them. I don't think they need him to be. I mean, if he comes back as the old D Rose, they might go even higher than the 8th spot. But I doubt it. I doubt he'll come back and go to the MVP form he did.
All they need is just be a spark plug off the bench, come in, score 15 a game.
I've seen some people tote him as 6th man of the year. I mean, we'll get to what we think about 6th man of the year.
Yeah.
But there's a possibility. But I can't wait to see what Dumboy is going to be like in the NBA.
I don't think he's going to play all too much.
No?
No, quite young.
Yeah, I was a fan of him, watching him play in France, watching his highlights. I think he's a good player and he'd fit this team nicely.
Did you see a report came out with the Pistons saying if they're not where they are come the trade deadline, they would like to trade Blake Griffin?
Yeah, that's interesting because I also saw the day after that people were saying that was a load of rubbish. But it'd be interesting. It would be interesting if they come out and said that now.
It seems like if it is true, they're like kind of preparing for the worst.
Because when I saw that, I was kind of like, do I take them out of my playoff tour? Because if they're saying this now, it sounds like they're not going to be too up for it. But they'd get some good. They'd get a good trade for Blake Griffin.
Maybe, but he is quite old, always injured on a big contract.
Still a good player.
Blake for Chris Paul.
No deal. No deal. Yeah, but whatever happens to the Pistons, you just know they're getting swept first round.
Oh yeah.
Some things never change, you know. It's like 8th spot in the East is guaranteed sweep in the
basically
in the first round.
Yeah.
So the 7th spot,
I've got Miami. Basically, solely on the fact that the East is that bad, they might be able to get the 7th seed.
I was going to say, can you putting them in 7th, being Jimmy Butler hater after he left Philly? I'm surprised.
Yeah, because when you look at the Pistons, the Hawks, Nets, Bulls, the Heat are a better team than that, and they have got
Are they?
I think so, and they got a top 5 coach or top 10 coach, Eric Spoelstra. Spoelstra, he knows how to win.
Saying top 10 coach, what do you mean in the conference or in the NBA?
In the NBA.
Because top 10 coach in the conference means nothing.
In the NBA. Good coach, he knows how to win. And, I mean, just look at Tyler Herro in the preseason. Surely, they need to start him. They can't have him coming off the bench. Please just utilise him, let him shoot, let him score. And if they can do that, he could be one of the favourites to win Rookie of the Year, and they could squeeze into the playoffs.
But do you think, obviously Jimmy Butler being primarily a shooting guard, do you think he would want to move to small forward?
Well, going off what Jimmy Butler always says, he only cares about winning, apparently.
We know that's not true. We
know it's not true,
but... He can keep saying it all he wants, but we know Jimmy Butler doesn't care at all about winning. Well, he does, but he cares a lot more about money.
There was talk of him playing point guard as well. Which, I mean, he did it for Philly last year, and it worked out.
They could do with a point guard.
Yeah, just please start Herro. Just do it.
So I've got the Nets in the 7th spot. Like I said when you were talking about them finishing way down in the 10th spot, Kyrie has basically got Celtics, but quite a bit worse. But Kyrie's still a good player. He is good. He's talented. He was wearing a face mask in... Not like the pampering face masks, like the protectional face mask.
Yeah, he broke his face for like the 10th time in his career.
But mask Kyrie is good Kyrie. From his Celtic days, when he was wearing a mask, he put up good points. And if he comes into the season wearing a mask, we might see some mask points. And we know he's good wearing the mask. So yeah, I've got him in the 7th. I just feel like they're slightly better than the other teams, purely because they have a top 5 point guard. The 6th spot, we've got the same team again. The 6th spot, we've got the same team. The Magic.
They're just long and defensive.
Just a fun team, isn't they? I watched like every game of the playoffs last year when they got beat by Toronto, and they're just fun. They're good defensively. They put up like no points, but they don't concede too many points.
Yeah, I think it was after the All-Star break last year. They were, from then on to the end of the season, they were the best defensive team in the league. Because their general manager was the guy who constructed the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis and all that team. So he knows how to build a winning team, and you can see what they're doing drafting long players.
Well, they have got Augustine as well. Yeah. Not so long Augustine, but also does a great job for them.
Yeah, but what I'd be most interested in seeing is if they are toying with like the 4th, 5th, or 6th seed come playoff time, is Markelle Fultz even going to play, or is he just going to get binned off to I don't know, Phoenix or Cleveland?
Yeah, I'd like to see Fultz come back, but it's unlikely.
I would love to see him reach his potential, but I think he's just gone.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. No more. Like watching him in pre-season, it still doesn't look.
Yeah, people on Reddit are saying, "Oh, he's back. He left Philadelphia and he's gone back to his old form." He's literally doing the same stuff that he was doing for us, like taking turnaround 5-foot jumpers. That doesn't mean anything.
Sometimes they go in.
Sometimes, really. But yeah, it would be nice if he bounces back.
Yeah, they're just a great team to watch. Better than the other teams. I mean, that's really what it is, really.
Yeah,
they're just better than the other teams. Yeah. The 5th spot, and we have the same team again.
Again, God, are you copying me?
Are you copying me? I mean, I did the predictions first.
Oh, no. So we both got Boston. I mean, they just got worse over the off-season. They lost their best player and Kyrie. Al Horford was their best player by far, and they lost him.
I mean, yeah, the matchup last season in the playoffs against the Bucks just showed that Al Horford stopping Giannis in like all the games, and they still couldn't win.
Yeah, and in fact, they weren't willing to pay him. They weren't willing to pay him 4 years, £110 million, but then they were willing to pay Jaylen Brown 4 years, £115 million.
Jaylen Brown, who has got more career turnovers than assists.
Sort out your priorities, Boston. Like, who would you rather have on your team right now for this upcoming season, Jaylen Brown or Al Horford? It's not even a question.
Big Al.
Exactly.
Chocolate milkman himself.
So you've got to question what Boston are doing. And they replaced one small point guard who can't win with another small point guard who can't win. Granted, Kemba's probably a nice person.
Yeah.
But you're not going to win with a 5'10" point guard.
But the reason Kemba couldn't win is because he was playing with the Hornets. I mean, it's not his fault. He is a good point guard, and we might finally see like, I'm happy for Kemba. He's finally got. He's been like playing with some awful players for the past few years. He's finally got a time just to sit back, and he can pass the ball to like Tatum, and he might score. And he's like,
But you say
finally.
he can pass the ball. Did you see him in the Olympics when he was surrounded by good players? He was still hogging the ball, just chucking up awful shots.
But hopefully he'll
Hopefully he
learn as
learns.
the season goes on that he can pass the ball because he's got players on his team now.
But then, also with Boston, your starting centre is Enes Kanter. Like, have you seen him try and defend players?
I've watched him at OKC for years.
It's like a revolving door. You just get the ball and you just stroll past him and he won't do anything. They've got no centres. They had Taco Fall. I don't get why they signed him to a two-way contract. Just play him. He makes a bigger impact than any of the other centres.
I mean, you can already see he's a fan's favourite. The fans have been chanting his name in pre-season for him to play, and they're still like reluctant to bring him on.
When he's there in the paint, players will literally avoid going in the paint.
He's 7'5", of course.
7'7".
No, his height got put down
Without shoes.
Okay, so he's 7'7". He's like the 26th tallest man in the world or something.
Yeah. Literally, when he's in the game, no one is scoring in the paint. And if anyone is big enough to guard Joel Embiid, it's going to be Taco Fall. So I just can't wrap my head around why they wouldn't at least give him 15 minutes a game in the NBA, because he's not going to do worse than Vincent Poirier or Daniel Tice.
I'm saying this now. Dunk contest, somebody brings out Taco and dunks over him.
Oh my god, could you imagine? Zion
Zach-
jumps over.
No, I'm thinking like Zach LaVine or Aaron Gordon.
Oh, get Taco in the dunk contest. He can do something that no one else can do.
What?
Not even jump.
Yeah, just stand there and drop it in.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow.
Who else is going to do that?
Wow, he's just dropped the ball. Oh, and I haven't got the same team for this one.
Oh.
The 4th seed.
So I've got Indiana. And you've got Toronto.
Toronto.
I feel you can really flip them either way.
Yeah. To be fair, just before we started, I had Toronto lower.
Yeah.
And then I rethought. Like, it's really like, a lot of these teams in the playoff in the East, they can move around with just like a few, like, just a couple of good runs. But Toronto, a lot like Boston, but with better players. They're good defensively, but they've got more in the way. Like, they've got Siakam. They've got these players that can, like, win a game themselves, where Magic don't really have. They have Evan Fournier. So even that, like, I'm a fan, but
Yeah, with Indiana, obviously they just signed Sabonis to that extension. I thought they were going to trade him. All signs were pointing towards trading him.
yeah.
But now he's staying, and they're saying they're gonna start him at the 4, with Miles Turner at the 5. Whenever they've done that in the past, it's never worked out. So maybe they've seen something in training camp which makes them feel confident enough to invest that much money in Sabonis and start him. But you got Oladipo coming back. Apparently he'd be back earlier than expected, so that's gonna be a massive boost. They signed Jeremy Lamb, gone T.J. Warren, Malcolm Brogdon. So they've made some solid additions to compete for top 4 seed.
Yeah, well, I've got the Pacers in 3rd, you've got the Raptors in 3rd, so those spots are interchangeable between us. But, like, the Pacers is just solid. Like you're saying, Sabonis can play at the 4. He played at the 4 when he was a bit younger, when he was at OKC. We partnered him with Steven Adams, and I feel like he's a good 4 spot because he's a decent shooter.
But he doesn't shoot enough.
No, but he can.
When he does shoot, he makes it.
He can be a very good double player.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he can kind of shoot threes. He can shoot threes better than Miles Turner, but I bet you Miles Turner probably shoot more threes over the season than Sabonis will, and that's the problem. They're too play through Miles Turner. They do that too much. Where he's a good player, but I think Miles Turner is very overrated.
Yeah, fair enough.
But like, I'm not saying he's a bad player. When you say somebody's overrated, like it sounds like you're saying they're awful. He's he's one of the top centers. But the way people talk about him and the way he wins Defensive Player of the Year when he does very little.
Yeah.
But he's good, but he's not as good as people say he is.
Yeah.
And I feel like they should try and play through Sabonis a bit more, since he's got better offensive ability.
That's why I think the Raptors are going to be a bit better than the Pacers, because there's so many unanswered questions with the Pacers. You do know, like, how is Oladipo going to do when he comes back? What position is Brogdon going to play? How is Sabonis and Turner going to play together? With Toronto, you know what they're going to get. You got Kyle Lowry, you know he's not going to put up points, but he's going to be good. Marc Gasol, he's going to do what he does. Siakam, he's going to do what he does. OG Anunoby, he's so underrated. He could come back and put up 15 a game. I know it might sound crazy, but I don't think they're going to miss Kawhi all too much.
I mean, they definitely will because he carried the team to the championship.
They're going to miss him, but it's not going to be...
They'll still do well in the season.
Exactly, yeah.
But the reason I got the Pacers above Toronto, purely because Brogdon and Oladipo is a better partnership than Kyle Lowry and Powell.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really argue with that.
No.
But it'd be interesting to see how, or which one of the Indiana backcourt players is going to play point guard. Because Brogdon primarily played off the ball in Milwaukee, and Oladipo's not a point guard at all. So it's gonna be fun to watch them, to see how they learn to play with each other throughout the season.
And the prayers for Goga Badatse to get some game time.
Please play him.
Play Badatse.
Well, now that Sabonis is starting, Badatse might be the backup center.
Please play that man. Has he played much in preseason? I don't think he has.
I don't know.
I think he played very little late games in. I think he was getting a little. I think he might have been injured, so he played small minutes as the playoffs got on.
You know, if you went,
this man,
if you went to a team that needed a center and you'd start,
it's the worst It's the worst deal for him.
He'd be one of my picks for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
he was so good.
I mean, it could have been worse because he could have gone to like the Cavs or the Suns.
Oh yeah.
But to go to a good team, but a team that's got like it was either that or the Pistons, the two good teams that you don't want to go to because they got so many good big men. Yeah. So, but play him, please. You're listening, Pacers. Play him. Second, I mean
Milwaukee.
Yeah,
but
the same.
I feel like it's going to be a close battle. It's not going to be like Sixers is going to be ahead of them by 5 games. It could literally be a 1-game difference, and it could go either way. But losing Malcolm Brogdon, choosing Bledsoe over Brogdon is
crazy.
A wild choice. I don't get why they would do that. But they did get Wesley Matthews, who is declining, but he's still a decent player. So bringing in Robin Lopez as well. That's a good backup center.
The Lopez brothers together.
Yeah, finally.
That's what we've been waiting for, to be honest.
That's what we care about.
Like,
really.
I've been watching the NBA for a good 5 years now. I'm just thinking, why aren't the Lopez brothers together on the same team?
But yeah, they're still going to be a good team. Not much more to say about it, really.
Oh yeah. On Bledsoe, injured for the start of the season for around a month, I think it is. He's got, I think it's 3 weeks he'll be out for. So, yeah, they'll miss him early season. So George Hill coming in for Bledsoe for the early season, most likely. I mean, there's better backup point guards in the league, but he's not bad.
Yeah, he's not bad. He came in the playoffs last year and made a big impact.
Yeah, I remember like Hill when he was playing at the Cavs, and yeah, we can move on from that.
I think one player that I was shocked with in the preseason was Dragon Bender. He was actually scoring. He looked like an actual NBA player for once.
Okay, I've always liked Bender. I've always thought he's got a bit of something about him. But obviously, it never really came to fruition.
But when you get drafted by the Suns, you need to accept the fact that your career is not going to go how you expect it to go. Because they drafted him and Marquise Chris, 2 power forwards in the top 10 at the same time, in the same year as well. So they were already set up for failure. And you look at Chris as well. He's hanging on by a thread in the NBA. So it's nice to see both of them finally get a chance with a good team. Who knows, like, Bender can learn off Brook Lopez and play that same role, a centre who stretches the floor. It could work out for him.
Yeah. What do you mean Chris is hanging on? He's a Golden State regular these days. He's going to be in their starting 5 at the start of the season.
I'm shocked he's still in the NBA.
That's what they waived McKinney for, to play Chris more minutes, which is mental. So the top seed in the East.
Trust the process.
No bias at all from Mr. Number 1 Philly fan Owen over here. But yeah, we've both got Philly at the top.
But the thing is, the more days that pass, the less confident I'm feeling in the number 1 seed. Because
you lost by 30 to the Wizards.
Partly. And I just wonder how our offense is going to look. Because when your smallest player in your start lineup is 6'6", you know you're not going to have much space.
You're doing okay, aren't you? You're doing okay.
But in the preseason, we shot 30% from 3.
Yikes.
And it at times, it just looked like a big cluster. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. Obviously, we're a new team, and they need to learn how to play it together. But I can see we're going to go through stretches where our basketball is going to be ugly, but we're going to play good defense. Matisse Thybulle, oh my god. He's better than I could have ever hoped.
Can't stop loving this guy.
I can't stop it. I can't stop watching his videos of deflections or steals or blocks. He makes defense look even more fun than there is. But yeah, maybe if we learn how to play together, we might be able to get the number 1 seed.
Yeah, how I see it is Philly's team is better than the Bucks, but depends on the amount of load management Philly take on Embiid, on Simmons, on these players, which could drop them below the Bucks. But again, just like a lot of places in the East, they're interchangeable. Philly and Bucks are by far the best teams in the conference, and one of them will finish first because that's how basketball works.
And on media day, Embiid was saying he wants to win MVP, win Defensive Player of the Year, and play over 70 games.
It's not happening.
I was like, slow down. Please don't play more than 60 games.
Do one of them.
Please don't play more than 60 games. Conserve yourself and just be fit for the playoffs. And if Embiid, Horford, and maybe even Simmons playing below 65 games, if that means we finish with a 3rd seed, but they're all healthy for the playoffs, I would take that. Because who cares about the regular season? It's all about the playoffs.
What's your conference final matchup?
I think for the East is so simple. Right now on paper, it looks obvious with the Sixers and the Bucks.
There's only 2 teams there.
Yeah. Personally, if Toronto gets the conference finals, I wouldn't be overly shocked.
No.
But right now, it's got to be the Bucks and Sixers.
Yeah, I mean, they're the best teams there by quite a bit. Unless big injuries happen to these teams, it's easily the Bucks.
And what a series that would be.
It'd be pretty good.
6 or 7 games. I go with Philly coming out on top, but that could easily go the other way.
Yeah, it'd go to 7 games, and it'll be fun to watch.
All I hope is, by the end of that series, I hope I don't hate Giannis.
You are going to hate him. No, you won't hate him because I'll have blocking every game.
But like, I don't hate Kawhi, you know? So hopefully I won't hate Giannis.
Talking about Kawhi and the very, very, very stacked West Conference.
2 stacked.
I mean, picking the 8 teams to go in the playoffs in this conference was difficult. But we start at the bottom with... Okay, they're not the worst team in the NBA because that's the Cavs.
Yeah.
But the worst team in this conference, the Suns.
Yeah,
we both got the Suns.
Quite consensus. But they have got a new coach. And
Doesn't matter.
But they finally also have a point guard. I think that could help them win like 5-10 more games, but they could still finish with a 15th seed.
Yeah.
Devin Booker, he's so overrated. He can score, well done, but what else can he do? Nothing.
Score. Points win prizes.
But yeah,
Booker gets points.
I can't see the Suns finishing any higher, really.
No, it'd be nice to see how Ayton does. Like you said, they actually have a point guard in Ricky Rubio. It'd be great to see how Ayton actually performs this season.
Build around Ayton. That's what they do.
Yeah. But team bad, 15th seed. 14th seed.
I think from 14th onwards, any of them could make play for the playoffs.
But we both got the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sums up the Grizzlies. The 13th seed, Timberwolves. Wiggins' big bad rubbish team.
If Timberwolves, if it goes bad, Towns demand to trade. Wiggins is the number 1 option. Shoots 30 times a game, averages 12 points. They could finish with the bottom seed in the West. Yeah.
Kat, if you're listening to this, which you're definitely not, but demand a trade sooner rather than later. Get out of there. It's a mess. The 12th seed, we've got a bit of a disagreement. I've gone for my boys, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
You're not confident, are you?
Not confident at all. Not after watching us get battered by the Mavericks.
Speaking of the Mavericks, I got the Mavericks in 12th.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big fan of the team. You already see a bit of friction with Porzingis and Doncic, where I think Doncic was playing with himself. That sounds a bit wrong.
Yeah,
but he was dribbling the ball, and Porzingis wanted the ball, and he didn't pass it to him, and he was a bit angry. And Porzingis has spent his whole career getting the ball when he wants to get the ball. So, is he wired the right way to think, oh, I'm part of a team, maybe I should let other players shoot? Or is he selfish? If he's selfish, then his team is going to collapse. And they're just giving him a massive contract, so they can't really get out of it.
That's very true, but by the fact that they battered us in pre-season,
I mean, it's not hard beating the Thunder, let's be honest.
I mean, well, you've got the Thunder above the Mavs. I mean, we're a bit of a mess. We spoke a lot about the Thunder.
I think they're better than people.
I mean, yeah, we've got some good teams, but we're actively trying to trade CP3 and Gallinari.
That doesn't help.
So, if we do manage to get, if we keep them, I feel like we could finish like maybe 11th. But if we don't keep them, then our team's just gonna be progressively worse. And then roll on the tank. Let's get a nice pick next season and bring me a nice rookie. LaMelo to the Thunder. 11th seed.
Pelicans.
I've gone with the Mavs purely because they beat us, so they're one spot above us. That's all I got to say about the Mavs.
The Pelicans are a deep team, but they haven't got many good players.
They've got all the good players.
What do you mean? If they bench Lonzo and start Nickeil Alexander-Walker,
Lies.
they could push for the 8th seed. But yeah, Zion, his injury problems have already started. I thought give him at least a year, but already he's torn his meniscus. That's the second worst way you could have started your career. The only worst way is tearing your ACL. But out for 2 weeks. When he comes back, he's going to be a bit overweight because he's not going to be moving much for the next 2 months. Going to be a bit overweight, not going to know how to play in the NBA yet. It could be a bit ugly, really.
Yeah, rip Zion. I mean, I predicted 3 months into the season he'd break his knee, but he did it before the season started. So, you said a few.
I said give him a year.
Yeah, so I'm taking that as a win for me. I was closer to when he died, so that's a win for me. Big dubs. But the Mavericks, is quite nice seeing Porzingis back. I liked Porzingis when he was at the Knicks. He seems like to have the same athleticism that he did when he was gone. He doesn't seem like the injuries had a big effect on him as a player. So I just hope that him and Doncic learn to play together, because I want to see Porzingis be the next big foreign big man in the league.
But you say injuries didn't have an effect on him.
Well, it obviously had an effect, but not as a big of effect that it could have had.
I was watching a video of him doing like a shoot around in practice, and when you bend your knees to go to shoot, it's meant to just be just a straight bend, like a normal bend. But his knees were bending inwards, which
It'll be fine.
If you want to tear your ACL again, bend your knees inwards. That's how you tear your ACL again.
You'll be fine.
So I don't know. He's injury prone. He was always injured for the Knicks, and I don't think that's going to change really.
The 10th seed.
I got the Thunder.
I've got the Pelicans. Now the Pelicans, I so badly wanted to put them in the 8th seed, but I couldn't do it. I know the Thunder are going to be bad this year. I'm praying the Pelicans make the playoffs. I don't think they will, because it's so... They've finished probably the 5th seed in the East.
Oh, yeah.
But they're in the West. They should have relocated before the season started. But, yeah, I love this team so much. Watching them on Friday against the Knicks, watching Ingram had, like this can sound weird, but, like, it reminded me of, like, Denver Melo.
Oh my god.
If Ingram gets a bit of confidence and starts putting up decent points, he's got the athleticism and the length to be a really good small forward in this league. And the same with Josh Hart. Josh Hart is more athletic than people think he is. I watched the man dunk over Bobby Portis on a putback. He's a big guy, he shoots decently, and I feel like all this team need is confidence, and they can fly.
Yeah.
And I love Zoe. I love Lonzo Ball.
Maybe a bit of confidence. Maybe they need to start caring a bit more. But yeah, at least they're out of LA. That can do wonders for a player. But I go, OKC. Are you saying they're gonna be bad this year?
Big bad.
I think they could compete for the 8th seed, because you look at Sacramento, Portland, they're not that much better than OKC. All they need is a couple injuries to go in their favour, and they could be right in there. Only to get swept in the first round, but still making the playoffs.
I mean, we usually lose first round anyway, so...
That's a good point. They may as well just keep it a tradition. Get in the playoffs, get knocked out first round. But when you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, just give him the ball. Let him do what he does. He's so good. He's not the better cousin. Nickeil Alexander-Walker could be better.
He's definitely the better cousin.
But he's still a good player regardless.
And if we do get the 8th seed, I might be in LA for when...
Oh, poor George Revenge tour.
I might be able to go and watch it. Yeah, let's make the 8th seed, boys. Let's go. Let's go. The 9th seed, we've both got the Kings.
I did have them in the 8th seed, but after what happened
Same.
with Buddy Hield, I thought they were a tightly knit group that team chemistry could be the main reason to get them in the playoffs. But I've kind of dialed it back on them. I'm just not as big a fan as I was before.
Yeah, the team's solid. They got a lot of good players. It's a good team, but I just don't. I see them just missing out on the playoffs.
Yeah, they need a star, but Sacramento never gets a star.
No, because what star wants to go and play in Sacramento?
Exactly. So they might just be
Relocate,
decent.
go to Seattle. You'll get better players.
Yeah, they might be decent for the next 10 years.
Now, again, the interesting bit, the playoffs. Who've got on the 8th seed?
I got Portland.
I've got the Spurs.
Yeah, Portland. I had them in the 9th seed before today. But yeah, Sacramento obviously was the reason I moved them up. But I don't know. I'm just not confident with this team. Last year they spent so much of their energy trying to win a playoff round, and they did it. They got the conference finals. This year, Dame has got his money. They haven't got their centre. They still on Hassan Whiteside, for God's sakes. Are they going to be complacent because they achieved their goals last year? I hope not, because they can be a fun team to watch. But I can't see them doing too good.
Well, I went for the Spurs purely because Greg Pop. I mean, DeRozan and Aldridge getting older. I've never really liked DeRozan as a player. I don't think he's that good. Aldridge is great, but I feel like their young players can really take over this season. But they'll make the playoffs because Greg Pop's a genius, but only at the 8th seed. But it'll be a fun matchup for whoever is going to be in the 1st seed. Nobody knows. The 7th seed.
I gone for the Lakers. Bit controversial, maybe.
I went Houston.
Both controversial.
Both controversial.
Yeah, Lakers. I mentioned on the last podcast. They can just blow up and crumble at the moment's notice. And with AD's injury now, all it's going to take is for Pat Beverly on opening night to slap his hand a couple of times. He could be out for 2 months with a broken finger or broken hand. LeBron, his defense is getting worse every single year. Kyle Kuzma, he's injured for the first month of the season, maybe even longer. And like when you start on Dwight Howard and LeBron, who else? Danny Green. Maybe 5 years ago that could be a good team, but now we're in 2019 going into 2020. It's not going to work out.
And I went for the Rockets purely because I don't like James Harden. That's not the only reason. It's a big reason, but I still don't see Westbrook and Harden working, and they've lost players within that team. They kept Clint Capella, which was a strange decision, and it's a weird team. They could finish 4th. They could finish 9th. They won't finish 9th.
Yeah.
8th. They could finish 8th. They'll make the playoffs, but from 4th to 8th, it's really interchangeable as well with me. So the 6th spot,
I went for Houston.
I went for the Trailblazers.
I feel like with Houston, when the team has peaked, I think their peak was the last couple of years. They've peaked now. They've hit their ceiling. PJ Tucker, bit old now. You might regress. Eric Gordon, he's injury prone, but he hasn't been injured much over the last couple of years. So he's due an injury.
He's due a big one.
Russ, just seeing preseason the effects that Russ, the effect that he's having on the team, where Harden was doing his usual isolation, but Russ's defender was sagging off him so far that Harden couldn't do his moves because he had 2 defenders on him. So it's going to take a long time to figure out. They might never figure out how to play together.
I would like that.
So I just can't see them working out really.
Yeah, you were saying about the Trailblazers that they achieved what they wanted last season, so they might become complacent. I feel like that'll only just encourage them to go further. I mean, Dame is probably top 3 point guards in the league, and he's partnered with a guy he's been playing with for years, and they've been doing great things for years. So I just feel like they're obviously Nurkic being out again for the year is rough, and they got Hassan Whiteside, which is rough, but
they lost so many of their important role players as well.
But they got Dame, and like I was saying, like I was saying with Boston. Not Boston, the Nets. Like I was saying with the Nets, they've got Kyrie, and he doesn't have much, but he'll still carry them into a decent spot. Dame actually has some teammates with Kent Bazemore and McCollum. I mean, Kent's not amazing, but he's better than what the Nets have got.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they'll have another good year. Won't get too deep in the playoffs, but they'll have a good year. The 5th spot. I went for the Lakers.
And I went for the Warriors.
I went for the Lakers purely because, I mean, LeBron's the GOAT. I mean, he literally is the greatest of all time.
One of them.
He's literally the greatest of all time. And he's with AD, Alex Caruso. I mean, what more do I need to say?
Yeah, Warriors. Losing their best player doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Boo. Warriors are still good.
But at least they got D'Angelo Russell. It's a new team. They haven't got a good bench. They just released their best player, McKinney. He was so good.
Say their best player.
He was so good.
I mean, he's a good player.
I can't get over they released him still. But when Clay comes back, it's going to be interesting to see how they fit their roster together. Like, what is Russell expendable?
It might. They've said now that they won't be trading Russell, but I feel like it would be in their interests to trade Russell.
I remember when Jimmy Butler said he only cared about winning. Sometimes what people say doesn't matter. They just lie. Maybe just send him to Timberwolves so he can be with his best friend, Carl Towns.
But what do you want them to have? Wiggins? It's not much of
draft picks.
Rocco and draft picks.
Ooh.
That's a good trade.
Yeah,
that's a really good trade.
Yeah. Maybe Chuck and Culver if
Ooh. Golden State about to win some more. The 4th pick. Jesus, you went for the Spurs.
I went for the Spurs. Basically, do you know when you said Popovich is good enough to get into the 8th seed? I think he's good enough to get into the 4th seed.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, but there is a little cause for friction with the old players and young players, maybe. Obviously, the old players like the isolation players that like playing on their own. And when they have young players coming through saying, pass me the ball, I want to play team ball, they might not like it. But if they just embrace each other and just play as a team, no friction, if Pop does what he normally does, I can see them finishing up in the top 4.
I think you're crazy. But I'm in for Utah Jazz. I don't really have much to say about Utah Jazz.
Well, they improved a lot, didn't they?
They're just good, didn't they?
They got Mike Conley, Bogdanovich.
They just got a very, very solid team.
Yeah, good coach signing a new extension.
Yeah. I was like, I can't see them finishing outside the 4th seed.
That's why I got him with the 3rd seed.
And that's why I've got Golden State in the 3rd seed. I've seen a lot of people put Golden State like in the 6th and 7th, and I'm like,
I've seen people have him out of the playoffs.
They've got the best shooter to ever play the game of basketball.
The 2 best shooters to ever play.
Yeah, but Clay's out until All-Star break. They've got the best shooter. This man could literally average 40 points up until Clay comes back. He'll be shooting that much.
That would be fun to watch.
Like, people are underestimating this team. Draymond Green is still around. Great defensive player. He could literally do Russ and average a triple-double this season.
Do you reckon?
I reckon he could because, like... And then...
He's going to pull Alonso and average a triple-single.
I mean, 10-10-10 is still a triple-double. I'm not saying he's going to do a Russ and do 20...
Obviously,
do 20, 10 and 15. I'm saying 10-10-10, but it's still solid. And then bringing in Corley Stein. If Curry manages to miss a 3-point shot, you've got a big man in there that will put it back in.
Yeah, I mean, he's not that good, but...
I mean, but he'll do it. I mean, he averaged 15 points and 10 rebounds last season in the second half of the season. And then if Curry does want to pass the ball, D'Angelo Russell's there.
Yeah, and Curry is one of the best playmakers in the league.
And D'Angelo Russell proved last season that he can carry an average team.
But when he has the right people around him.
Steph Curry!
No, fair enough.
Chef Curry! I think Golden State are very good. And they'll still be very good. And be a very good team. I love you, Steph. I'm just really happy the snake's gone. I liked Golden State before the snake went there. I like them again now. And to be fair, I didn't really like Klay Thompson before the playoffs last year, and I'm a big Klay fan now. So
yeah, you come to our side now.
Yeah.
Big Klay fans.
So yeah, Golden State are gonna win the whole thing. They're not gonna do that. The 2nd seed. There's only one team for this.
Denver.
What a team!
Yeah, just a very deep team, a good team.
Nikola Jokic, that's all you need to say, really.
He could play 50 pounds overweight, 50 pounds of pure fat, and he would still be one of the better centres in the league.
Do you think Zion's watching Jokic and thinking, if he can do it?
Yeah, it probably is. I'm just going to eat wherever I can.
But obviously, two very different players.
Jokic is actually a smart player. So.
A good playmaker and a decent shooter. Zion can just jump pretty high.
Yeah, and tear his ACL.
Yeah, and that coming soon.
Coming soon. Stay tuned.
We'll be on Zion knee watch throughout the season to see when they give up on him and he turns into Big D Rose.
Oh god. Rest in peace.
Yeah, the Nuggets. I can't wait to watch them lose the first round of the playoffs.
Michael Porter Jr. is finally back though. What a player to have coming off the bench. Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, decent players.
Just all right team, but play really well together and are strung together by a big man.
And a very good coach.
Yeah. And they've got Torrey Craig, the small forward, that when OKC played Nuggets last season, they would put Craig on Westbrook, and Westbrook couldn't do a thing. He would just be a nuisance for Westbrook. He'd be on him. He would try and get steals. I remember late nights watching us play the Nuggets.
Crying in your bedroom.
Yeah, just crying because when Torrey Craig takes off the training top and he's ready to play, I'm like, someone get Westbrook out, get Schroeder on. But yeah, and they've just got players. It's like the Spurs. They've just got players that outsider fans won't really know who they are, but they play so well.
Yeah. And, playing in Denver for opposing teams is such a tough place to go to play. Playing a mile high above water, you get exhausted so quickly. So they have they have a home court advantage that no other team in the league has. Very unique.
Big up Denver. I know the best team maybe the NBA have ever seen. Nah, that's a step too far. They've got good players.
Yeah, they've got two good players. Well, many good players.
The Clippers. The first seed goes to the Clippers.
But I will say, it wouldn't surprise me if they get a second or third, based on the fact if they keep quiet for load management and PG continues to have his shoulder injuries.
Yeah, it depends how the injuries could really be bad for them, and then I can see Nuggets or Golden State getting the top seed.
Yeah, these standings I'm going solely off if everyone's fully fit.
If everybody's fit, this is what's going to happen.
Which it's not going to happen anyway. No. So, but they do have a good team, the best bench in the league, and a good coach. That's the key to success.
Probably the best defensive team in the league as well.
Ooh, Philly would like a word with that.
Sorry, Pat Bev wants to speak to you. So yeah,
they should be a top 3 defense, a top 3 offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the conferences. What's your conference final going to be for the West?
So obviously the Clippers, and I think the Jazz. I don't know. I think they could shock a few people.
I think you're crazy.
They got a very good coach, Donovan Mitchell. Just take the next step. Be a great defender and a good playmaker. Doesn't shoot whenever you get the ball. Play team basketball. Mike Conley, he's old. He's declining, but he's I think he's an improvement over Ricky Rubio. Gobert, you can't really play in the playoffs, but just do what you do. Bogdanovich, a good 3-and-D player. They're just solid.
Fair enough. I went obviously Clippers and Golden State. I'm putting all my
eggs into one basket.
Yeah, all my eggs are in the Golden State basket, and Chef Curry's cooking them up, making a nice omelette. And Golden State still the team that they were with or without KD. Because remember, Curry did it before KD was there.
Yeah, that's true.
Golden State for the championship.
Whoa.
Not gonna happen.
No.
So they are our conference final matchups. How do you see the NBA finals looking?
So I've got the Clippers versus the Sixers, but I'm not confident. Kawhi still gives me nightmares. So I got the Clippers winning in 6 to get their first ever NBA championship.
I've also got Philly and Clippers, purely on the fact that if everybody's fit, they're by far the 2 best teams in each conference. But it could easily be Toronto Golden State again.
In the finals.
No, okay, that's a step
That'd
too
far.
That'd
be a crazy simulation we're living
in. Don't be surprised if Clipper get injuries and Golden State make the finals again this year.
Also, Milwaukee. I feel like that series against the Sixers, either one could get the finals.
The only reason I've got Philly above, the Bucks, in the conference finals is purely Big Al and Embiid on Giannis.
Yeah, we've got the Giannis stoppers.
Yeah. You've literally got the only players who are known for stopping Giannis.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
And then, like, last season, you were stopping him and you still like JJ Redick. Now you've got Richardson, who's just massive and long.
We've got no weaknesses defensively now.
No.
Where teams would pick on Redick, finally he's gone. I don't have to watch him chase after players like a very old man. We've got one of the better perimeter defenders replacing him in Josh Richardson.
Yeah, so I've got Clippers in 7 because every NBA fan has to go to 7. There's no point playing if it doesn't go to 7.
If we lose in 7 games, I guess I could be happy as long as it doesn't end with a Kawhi Leonard buzzer beater that bounces 4 times.
Yeah, so that's the NBA. Now on to more individual awards. Coach of the Year.
Again, it's going to be a close race. I think whoever gets the first seed could be in contention with whether that's Doc Rivers or Brett Brown. I just think maybe Brett Brown might just edge it. I don't know if that's me being biased, but I don't know.
Coach of the Year for me, really, it could be anybody who finishes in the first or second spots. It's all dependent on injuries and load management, how it goes. But I've gone for Brett Brown right now because I feel like they even with injuries, I feel like they might have the best record in the NBA this year.
Yeah.
Because of what PG's like at the Clippers, how they're going to manage Kawhi. I just feel like Philly might get the best record than that, and therefore Brown will win Coach of the Year.
I'm not too confident with that pick because I got the Raptors finishing 3rd in the East. That might be enough for Nick Nurse to win it because he hasn't got a great team.
Well, I just said they'd get to the NBA Finals again, and you definitely wouldn't if they did that. Moving on to Most Improved Player. Last year won by Pascal Siakam. This year, who are you saying?
Again, it's between 2 for me. I couldn't decide. So I went, personally, Jason Tatum. He has the tools to become the most improved player. Like, with Kyrie out of his way now, he could go out on average 23 a game. But he's got Kemba Walker in his way now. So that might hinder him again. Another choice for me would be OG Anunoby. Coming back. I feel like people have forgotten about him because he didn't really play in the playoffs. But he's going to play a much more important role. He's a fantastic defender. Just improve your own offense and you could be the most improved 2 years in a row for the Raptors.
So I went a bit more outside the box, you could say. Obviously, Nuggets are going to have a good season. I'm thinking Jamal Murray. Good point guard. Always getting better. Alright defensively. Getting better on offense as well. And I feel like they could get to the second seed again. And he could have a good season. Or Malcolm Brogdon. At the Pacers, I got the Pacers finishing 3rd. I feel like he could really adapt his game and maybe a double-double guy with points and assists. And I feel like he could really come on leaps and bounds this season. I was talking about Ingram, obviously, but I feel like it's not this season. Maybe a good confidence-boosting year this season, and next year he could get Most Improved Player. But this season, Jamal Murray or Malcolm Brogdon. 6th Man of the Year. Won every year by Lou Williams, and he'll do it again this year.
I just can't see anyone else winning.
No one else is better than Lou Williams. Jamal Crawford isn't like at the standard where he can contest it anymore, so Lou Williams.
Well, looking through the league, there's literally no one. Maybe someone might come up from the ashes and say, "Oh, look at me! I'm the better 6th Man of the Year." But Lou will. He's probably gonna average at least 18 points again. So he's got to be a favorite. Well, he's the favorite, and that's probably why we chose him.
Yeah, other contenders, you would like look at the Clippers again, and if Landry Shamet comes off the bench, he's a good contender. If Clay was fit for the season and D'Lo would come off the bench, Russell would have been a good shout. But how circumstances have panned out, Lou Williams is there again for him to ease.
If Matisse Thybulle comes out and averages 4 steals a game like he was in the preseason, who knows? He could get it. Maybe not.
Josh Hart.
Well, Indiana, it'd be interesting to see what they would do because Jeremy Lamb, TJ Warren, Oladipo, and Brogdon, one of them's gonna have to come off the bench. So whoever that one player might be could put up some points.
Yeah, it'll be 6 Man of the Year is always fun because Lou Williams is the outright favourite, but somebody could come out of nowhere and win it. It's like
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Probably not Spencer Dinwiddie.
Mark Elfels.
Definitely not Mark Elfels.
Definitely not.
Hamid Diallo. Definitely not him. Definitely not him. Defensive Player of the Year. Last year won by Rudy Gobert. Genius. I'm so good at this. This year, I mean, you're biased. Go on.
Well, Joel Embiid. If he plays enough games,
he'll play 52 games,
that's
including playoffs.
If he plays 70 games, which I pray he doesn't, but if he does, I'm assuming everyone's healthy. So if he plays a lot of games, he should be in within contention of winning the award, but obviously people don't like Embiid for some reason. They think he's cocky, even though he's the most humble player in the league.
He's like a humble cocky.
Yeah.
He is kind of cocky, but it's mainly a joke.
Yeah, exactly. It's a joke. He doesn't actually mean what he says. But people prefer Rudy Gobert defensively to him, and as a player, you're gonna say people might prefer him as well.
Yeah, I've gone Kawhi. I said that Clippers are one of the best defensive teams in the league, and I feel like they won't give it to Pat Beverly. So
will he play enough though, Kawhi?
That's the thing. It's the same thing with Embiid. Will they play enough to win it, or will they just give it to Rudy Gobert again? Probably. They'll probably just give it to Rudy Gobert again.
Yeah.
But if Kawhi plays enough games, he'll be big time defensive man, and the Claw will claw the award back. I'm good at this. I mean, Rookie of the Year. I mean,
all I can say is a Pelicans player is going to win it. They've got two options. Zion. I think if Zion plays over 50 games, he'll just automatically win it.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if he plays over 40 games, he automatically wins it.
Yeah, yeah.
If he plays a game, he wins it. The media love him, and I hate it.
Yeah, they're just going to vote for him, even if he's not the best rookie on his team. If he plays more than 50, he probably will win it. If he's out for a long period of time and just misses most of the season,
he'll win it next year like Ben Simmons did.
Yeah, probably. But I think his teammate, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, could win it. You seen what he did in Summer League, and then he continued that form into preseason. And now, hopefully, I'm praying they give him a chance.
He's very good.
He's so good. He plays like a 5-year vet, not a rookie.
The way he moves, his shooting, it's silky, it's quick, it's nice.
Seeing some of the shots he takes, no rookie should ever be confident enough to take those shots. Yet he makes them with no issue. So please start him. Play him over Alonzo. Play him over Josh Hart. Play him over JJ Redick. Just give him the ball as much as he wants. Let him go to work. Let him improve. Let him win Rookie of the Year.
He's not the better cousin though. And a message to ESPN and these places: stop comparing Zion to LeBron James.
Yes.
Stop it. LeBron James is countries clear of what Zion could ever become. Zion is just Fat D Rose.
One wild card for Rookie of the Year: Tyler Herro.
Tyler Herro's a good one.
If he gets a chance.
Also, Kobe White.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I'm not a big fan of him.
I'm a big fan of him. Kobe White could, if he manages. Ben Simmons, do you think he can win Rookie of the Year? I think that's a decent shout.
Oh, I love how Utah fans still think that joke is funny 3 years after.
They're the only people who talk about it.
When a Bleacher Report posts thing, Ben Simmons shooting a jump shot, you can always guarantee with just one scroll through the comments.
Rookie of the Year in the SpongeBob
Rookie of the
font.
Year. Yeah. Just, shut up. Oh.
Stupid idiots. And now the most important award, what everybody cares about, what James Harden gets denied of every single year, it's MVP.
I think it's quite obvious really, Matisse Thybulle.
Obviously, yeah. I've gone for CP3. That's a joke. Who have you really gone for?
Well, I was thinking of Embiid.
Of course you were. You may as well have given every single award. Oh, who's Coach of the Year? Oh, probably Joel Embiid. Most improved player. Oh, Joel did a slightly better than he did last season. 6-man. I know he started every single game, but we'll give it to Embiid as well.
Yes, basically just because of that. I don't want to be too biased. I went with Giannis Antetokounmpo. You look at how he's improved so much every single year. Maybe it's hard to ask for him to improve even more, but if he came out on average 30 points, 13 rebounds and 9 assists, I wouldn't be shocked. Because I've learned never write Giannis off for anything. Because he has the sort of work ethic that people dream of having. He's just too good, and he might just dominate again. With Brogdon being out, he has more on his plate this year, more of a playmaking role. So he might be able to expand and develop a whole other part of his game.
I agree, but the reason I didn't choose Giannis, I'm just calling Giannis, is because the NBA don't really like giving players MVPs back-to-back years. So, talking about having all my eggs in a basket, I've gone for your boy Wardell Curry,
no.
my boy Steph Curry. All my eggs are in this Golden State basket, and chef's cooking them. Steph Curry will average. It doesn't actually even matter. Steph Curry's winning MVP. They'll win the whole thing.
But
Steph,
this year I don't
deny me.
I don't feel like there's a clear-cut favourite.
No, yeah, there's a lot of players that could do it.
You look at like all the top teams. Philly, Embiid might have a chance if he plays enough. Probably not. Giannis, he's probably is the favourite right now. When you look at the Clippers, Kawhi and PG aren't going to play enough. Denver, Jokic, does he really have is he really good defensively to warrant that sort of an award? No.
Yeah, it's just Steph, Chef, Wardell, Dell,
Adele, good singer.
yeah, Curry's my man for MVP, and what a man he is. We've been going for an hour. Hour and 10. Sheesh. The longest one yet. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Post Up Podcast. The season's back weekly now as we discuss all the goings on in the season, so make sure you follow on SoundCloud, subscribe on YouTube, like and share videos with all your friends, because we know everybody watches this, have tons of friends because you're popular people. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you watching the Lakers Clippers game later.